Hello guys, this is Utpal and I'm gonna talk about integration as in ServiceNow to ServiceNow integration. And I've searched about it a lot on the internet, and I was able to find out some solutions which might be helpful for you guys as well. So let's start. So what I'm going to do is I'm integrating my this instance right here, Pablo's instance, with my other instance, which is this Felix instance, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an incident here in my Pablo's instance, and it should simultaneously create an incident here in this instance. Right here. Okay, so I have implemented it, so let me show you first. If I click here in new, and if I put caller as able tutor, short description might be test, and description can be test Felix, right? And if I save it, if I save it, right, so it should create an incident here. Let's check. Yeah, just Felix, right? And same should happen from here to there. So let me show you. Able tutor, short description is test Pablo test, and this business this integration will run if I set assignment group to support group XYZ. So let's do it and save it. Let's check in here. Yeah, test Pablo is here, right? Okay, so how did I do it? First of all, you need to set up some REST messages. If you are not aware about it, then you should go and check about REST message. What is REST message? And I can brief you about it. Like in REST message, you need to create a new REST message, and here you need to pass an endpoint here, right? And you can write any name, any description, right? And you need to pass a endpoint here. So for passing an endpoint, you need to get the endpoint of your another instance of your this instance. So there are two ways. First of all, you can get endpoint by typing the instance name .servicenow.com /API/now/table/ whichever table you want to integrate with. So incident, in my case it's incident. So, or another way is you can open your another instance, this instance, and you can go to REST API Explorer, right? And here when you select the namespace as now, API name as table API and latest, and you want to create a record, so you need to create you need to use post method, right? So here is your URL. So you can copy this URL, and /table name should be your incident table or whatever table you want to integrate with. So that table name goes here, right? So after inserting the endpoint, you need to create two HTTP headers. These are the default headers, like accept application/JSON. The value should be application/JSON, and content type is application/JSON again, right? And then you need to set up some authentication method. So for now I have set up a basic authentication type, and you need to create an authentication profile. This profile should contain username and password of your another instance of your this instance. So for that you need to click on here. You can create a new, and then you can use a name, and username and password should be similar to your another instance. And I have already created it. This Pablo is another instance username and password, so you can do it here. And then you need to create two HTTP methods. Why two? Because we need to create the incident, and also we need to update it. For example, if I have created any incident here, let me show you. If I create an incident here, test Pablo 2 test assignment group, this, right, and save it. So it is created here. Now it should be created here as well. So it is created, as you can see, test Pablo 2. But when I update it, like for test Pablo 200, if I say and save it, it should not create another incident here, but it should update only the short description of this incident only. So let me refresh it. As you can see, it updated the same incident with 200's value, right? So for that, we used that put method. Put is used for updating. So I've created two methods. First is post. So you need to create two methods. HTTP method should be post, and you can write any name here. It's not necessary to write default post only. And again, you need to insert an endpoint and these two HTTP headers. That's it, and you can test it. So my all test cases are here. If test returns 200 or 201, then it is working, right? And after that, when you have set up this, you need to click on preview script usage, and you need to copy this script, this whole this whole script you need to copy, and then in business rule you need to create a new business rule. I have already created, so I'm going to show you. So in this business rule, what you're doing is you are triggering it after an insert or update on an incident table. So you need to click on advanced and then select after insert, because we are going to use this business rule for insert only. And as you can see, this filter condition is also there, that if support group XYZ is there in assignment group, then only this business rule will trigger. And this is the code. So the code which you have copied from from your REST message, you need to paste it here. This is the code. I have added some these lines for myself, but this is not necessary. If you don't write it also, then also it can be executed. And you need to be careful about this. This is JSON body. I have write this JSON body because that's very efficient for me, or I like to do it this way. You can also try to copy ServiceNow script from here and do it, this body part. Let me show you. Yeah, this request header, request body. So this you can also copy this JavaScript body, but I like to do it in this JSON format, right? So what you need to be careful about is you need to pass this short description caller ID, which should match the internal name of this table. If your let me show you. If your caller IDs, if your caller's internal name or dictionary name is not caller underscore ID, or there is some field which you have created, like this is u underscore counter, so this should match. So for caller, it's caller underscore ID. For short description, it's short underscore description. So that's what I have did. So short description caller ID, and I've got the values by writing current.short description.toString and everything, right? So this is a JSON body, and I have stringified it because we need to stringify it because this is JSON, and ServiceNow understands we need to convert this to a string. So that's why we are converting this JSON body to a string by using this method, json.stringify. So you need to write this line in your copy to code of try and catch. So you need to add this line. JSON dot r dot set request body JSON dot stringify body. That's it. And when you run this, it will insert an incident in your another instance. And now the question is, how will you update that incident? So updating part is a little bit tricky. Just bear with me, I'll tell you. So first you need to go to your REST message, and you need to create an default put here, a put method by clicking on new. You need to create a put method, and then you can name it anything. Default, I have written default put. And how default put works is in the endpoint, it actually requires, after incident slash, it requires the sys ID of the incident. The sys ID of the incident, when you put it here, and when this message runs by the business rule, what it does is it updates the particular sys ID's incident only. So we need to pass that sys ID dynamically. Like if we create any incident from here, incident from here, then every time a new sys ID will be generated. So you need to get the sys ID on a dynamic basis. Not you cannot directly paste it here, the sys ID of the incident. So it will update a single incident again and again. So we do not need to do that. So just set up this put method by this HTTP headers and test it. That's it. And only write this. Don't write any sys ID here for now. And in preview script usage, just click it, copy the script, copy this whole script, and then open your business rule. So open the business rule. So here you need to create another business rule which will trigger on update. Whenever an incident is updated, after it is updated, it should trigger. So in the advanced section, again you need to write in JSON body whatever data which you want to update, right? And you need to write this one line. What this is it stores the correlation ID in a variable. What is correlation ID? Actually, correlation ID is a sys ID. Let me show you. Here, as you can see, this correlation ID field is getting the sys ID of this sys ID is not the sys ID of this incident. It's the sys ID of this incident. Let me show you. This is Pablo 200, right? And description test, right? Pablo 200 test. This is my this is in my Pablo's instance. So let me copy this sys ID, and this is the sys ID. Just look at it. Look, this sys ID is equal to this. So whatever incident is created here, I am copying that sys ID to this correlation field, right? So what it is doing, it is just let me show you. Yeah, what it is doing, it is getting the correlation ID and storing it in a variable. And then what I'm doing is I'm using a r.setEndpoint method, and this method this method what actually does is it overrides the endpoint which you have written here. This line of code will override it. So after overriding it till here, what I'm doing is I'm concatenating the correlation ID which I've got in this variable and adding it here, and then I'm just doing the JSON.stringify, and that's it. What does this do is it is updating dynamic records every time. It is getting the correlation ID of whatever the incident is getting updated, and concatenating it, and then using this put method, right? So this is how we can create and update an incident from one instance to another to this instance. Now what we need to do is we need to create an incident here in this instance, and it should get created in this instance in Felix now. So for that, what I have done is I have set up a web service. This is the web service in this instance. This is getting an for setting up an inbound web service for getting data from third party. So for that, you need to click on create new inbound web services. You need to click on create new, and then you need to put a label. After putting the label, the name is auto generated, and then you need to select a target table, and then you need to create some fields here, right? And after creating the fields, when you create it, what it actually does is it takes you to the transform map. So let me show you. Let's test 2, because I have already created one test here. So test 2, and the table is incident, right? And I'm creating some fields, some staging table fields by which we are going to get data in. So let me just get the value of caller, maybe, right? So internal name is now u_caller, and when we create it, what it actually does is it creates an source table, and our target table is this. So this is now transform map. So now we need to map our caller field u_caller, which we have created earlier, with this incident table. So for that, go to mapping assist and get the caller from here, get the caller from here as well, and save it, right? And when you update it and when you refresh it, what it does is it creates, look here, a web service. So I have already created a web service. Let me show you. So in test 2, you have only one field, caller, right? But in my Pablo inbound, I have 3 fields. These 3 fields value will be captured, right? So these 3 are the internal names, right? And after doing this, what you need to do is you need to click on explore REST APIs, and then this page will open, right? And then you need to test it. So pass any value to the caller or something, and let's send it. After that, you will get this this URL. So you need to copy this URL, and now you need to set up a you need to set up a REST message here on your second instance. So because you want to push instance from here to here, right? So for that, you need to set up a REST message. Go to REST message, and I have already set up, so let me show you. So this is the URL. You can match it. You can let me show you. Yeah, this and this is the same, right? And again, you need to set up some basic authentication, which will be of your second instance, and some HTTP headers. After that, you need to create a default post, because you are going to post data from here to there. So open it. I've used post method, and again the endpoint should be same, and the HTTP headers would be same, right? And then you need to create a business rule. So go to business rules, right? And here I have created one business rule, which should again trigger on after insert or update. Sorry, only insert for now, only insert. And just be sure that in this JSON body you should use u_short description, because these fields are not of your incident table. These are of your staging table now, which you have created here, right, in your inbound actions. This, so it is going to push your this table data short description display value to this instance staging table, right? So be sure to write these internal names and then get the values, and then you just need to stringify the body. That's it. So this is how you establish a two-way communication between two ServiceNow instances. I think I am able to answer all your queries. If you have any other queries, you can comment me. Please also like and subscribe my channel.